Happy Wednesday, y'all. Super excited about today. Justin is coming on. You guys know Justin from Leah. He's going to come on. We're actually going to talk about both of our businesses today and things we're going through. I want to talk about a market that I actually just did that I totally screwed up on and how we're going to try to make some money off it, even though we totally messed up. We got some other deals we're going to look at that I just did. And we got some deals that we just got under contract, some juicy little numbers. So I'm super excited about that. I want to talk to you guys today. Let me show you this. So right here, Land Insights, guys, we got like 3 more spots left on Land Insights right now. V1 is still rocking. V2, when it comes, it's just going to completely change everything. But right now, we still have spots for V1. Just get started. And then you'll get this free 7-figure market selection tool just by putting your email address in there. Just so everybody knows, I don't know if you guys remember, like 2 weeks ago, I had a kid, Aaron Waxman, come on. So Aaron came on and we went on Land Insights and like that. This was just 2 weeks ago. Picked some markets, went through, we did our thing. We ended up getting everything prepped out, and we came on, we reviewed his mail. We picked our markets through Land Insights. Okay. And we sent out, or he sent out mail, not me. He sent out mail. As of today, he's got 2 deals under contract, and it looks like one deal is a buy for 51, sell for 104. The other deal is still questionable. He's originally sent out a mailer price of 74K, but it looks like exit price is only 105 because it's got this weird easement. But he's going to renegotiate that and hopefully get it down to like 51, maybe do a 50 or 60 and do a double close. So you're talking about a potential of almost, what is that? 50, 60, 90 grand on 2 deals just from picking some markets from Land Insights. So like, if you don't think this tool is powerful and like worth every penny, you're just crazy. This thing is literally how we pick our markets and how we have success. Absolutely worth every single penny. And it saves hours and hours and hours off time and all that stuff. So yeah, definitely check it out. And this is that market selection tool, like I was talking about, the 7-figure market selection. You'll get that when you go and put your email right there. Cool. Let's bring Justin on the table. Justin, what's up, bro?
Hey, what's going on, guys? What's up, Dennis?
Much, man. How's it going on Leah's side of things?
It's going well. It's going well, man. We've been adding people all month. I think overall, you guys know who I am in general with being the Leah gatekeeper. Let's give the credit. Let's give Leah its flowers as it's due, right? If you guys are looking to join the best land investing community in the world, hands down, the same community where I launched my own land investing business, and currently scaling to 6 figures. You guys need to head over to landinvestor.co/apply. You'll get a quick conversation with yours truly. We'll dive into all things land, see where you're at, see where you want to go, and see if we can help, which if I were a betting man, I'd bet that we can. So if you're ready to make that leap in 2024, start your land business, I recommend applying as soon as possible. Spots are very limited. We only take on a few people per month, and would love to work with you all. See you on the other side. So anyways, Dennis, how's it going, man? How's your land business?
It's going good, man. We had a couple hiccups in the beginning of the year that we're just trying to overcome. We mailed a county that we completely mispriced, and I feel like such an idiot for it. But it was like one of those ones that we went on, we messed up. We priced it as if it were like one area, but it was kind of like half coastal, half whatever. And we should have priced it better. We should have split it up, but I was just like, whatever, let's just get it out there. Rob got a little excited because he wanted to just mail it too. So we kind of just pushed it out. Well, we ended up mailing basically market price for everything, if not higher, actually, for a lot of the stuff. And we have been getting calls and calls and calls. I think on like it was like 3,000 pieces. Right now we're like at 1.5% response rate. So we got like over 50 calls or something like that, which is ridiculous. Usually like 0.5% is like successful.
Yeah.
So now we're just sitting here like waiting for this Pat Live bill to come in and scared to see what that comes out to be. Um, it's going to be expensive, I'll tell you that, but it is what it is. But other sides of the business, like we got a deal under contract the other day. One of my new acquisitions managers, Bob, that actually came from this channel, from these meetings. He hopped on with me. He got a property under contract the other day. It was a buy for 145, I think we're under contract for, and exit price is 350. It's insane. It's like a 200K spread as a straight flip. So it's pretty nuts. We're contemplating doing, maybe we'll go over that one on this call. I think I talked about it last week too. We're contemplating doing maybe a subdivision on it. It looks like a good good fit for it. So got that. And then yeah, how about you, man? What kind of deals you got working on right now?
Busy. As you know, I think last time we also congratulations, by the way. That's awesome. Other than the overpriced market, that happens sometimes though.
Yeah,
Business has been a little slow on the land side of things. Nothing like unintentional. It's been completely intentional. Working through some legal stuff for this basically acquisitions team I'm outsourcing. Getting that all dialed in. I want to make sure everything's good there because I want it to be a long-term partnership, right? For me, the benefit is I'm just going to basically market my tail off for the rest of this year, and they're just going to take all the leads. Hopefully for the next, forecasting 2 years, hopefully we'll be in a really good spot for the next 2 years. 1 year might be more realistic, who knows? But hoping to just like learn his methodology as well and just kind of see a good follow process, get a lot of deals in, do well. But first is just kind of getting that in place. So another shameless pitch as well. Sumner and I starting that podcast I briefly mentioned on the last one, the Raw podcast. So we've been kind of working on that. I was able to connect with Sumner a few times when he was in town, and that was a lot of fun. Obviously, if anyone was at the San Diego meetup, raise your hand there. That was a lot of fun. Great to see you all there. I think I kind of mentioned it a few times to a few people there as well, but podcast should be pretty cool. We're going to be diving into a lot of, obviously like our businesses. And I think what's great about a land business as well, and you can probably speak to this, Dennis, is the model I feel like can be transferable to a lot of different industries in general, right? Because especially like input output type businesses. And I think there's a lot of opportunity in land right now, but it's scalable. And if it fits this type of model, even if it's not land, if it's something else, it probably works. So you can learn a lot from how we manage our business all the way through what this provides for us, how we provide for ourselves and our families, and what freedoms we get by being land investors and being just small business owners, really. So diving into all that, and really excited about that. And then I've been trying to be very active on Twitter, grow my presence there, and then just a lot of background work on the land business, really just making sure my intern's all dialed in. Connor, if you're on, hopefully you're on, giving you a shout out. And but anyways, just a lot of background stuff to really, I've sent out like 4,000 mailers, just to kind of get the ball rolling again. But yeah, overall really excited for this year, man, and excited to dive into some of these deals.
I love it. That's awesome. That podcast is going to be good, man. What are you guys doing? It monthly, weekly? What's the story?
Weekly. Going to be weekly. So weekly updates. It's honestly like, like my land business is pretty new, as everyone knows. And just like Sumner said in Discord today, like you kind of just fire and then you aim, right? So
ready, fire, aim. Yep.
It's even more accountability, besides these YouTube lives, to, keep growing the business and keep moving forward, right? Always improving. For anyone on this call that needs a little inspiration, I've talked to a lot of land investors lately, kind of looking for some of that. And I think that, the biggest thing, just focus on what you can focus on, control what you can control, make daily deposits to your business, to yourself. Those compound over time, right? Not if you try to crash course this stuff in a week or two. And that's the biggest improvement I've seen in my business and everything like that in my life. So just some nuggets of wisdom there for you guys.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's pretty important too. Like a lot of people get super overwhelmed with like building a business and all that stuff. at the end of the day, if you just put in like 2 or 3 inputs into your business every single day and just that 1% better every day, you'll see huge strides. It's crazy. Like just what you got to do. Like, yeah, there's probably 1,000 things you got to do every single day, but there's usually that 1, 2, maybe 3 standout things that have to get done that day. If you could just get those done and push everything else to the wayside for now and pick them up later, everything will work out, right? It all shakes out. Just pick the biggest money-making activities of that day, focus on them first. What that does is you get those done, now it's gonna compound. You're gonna be like, "All right, I got the 3 hardest things done, the biggest money-making. Let me just bang out 1 or 2 of the other things." Next thing you know, like, you're gonna crash through your whole, like, to-do list, right? So, always try to focus on, like, what you could control and what's gonna be your biggest money maker. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? This is always such a great comment, right? How do you eat an elephant one bite at a time, right? You don't try to take down the whole elephant, right? You're just gonna eat one bite at a time. So yeah, it's definitely important just to keep focused on what's important. And if it's not a money making activity, don't do it. People get so lost in like, I got to build a website, I got to do this, I got to do that. Like, no, you gotta pick markets and send mail. That's your number 1 priority. Number 2 is then follow up with the leads. Everything else can come in the downtime. You know, that's awesome. So where are you going to be putting the podcast?
Should be on all audio platforms. I think we're going to do YouTube. We're going to have our own website for the podcast. And then of course, Spotify, Apple, you name it, will be on there.
Nice.
So yeah, I hope everyone comes to hang out. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. You know, I think I've had a pretty fortunate opportunity to, be in Leah and get a lot of conversations with Sumner and everything like that in the team. So hopefully we'll bring people like yourself on and of course, coaches and everything like that to just share your guys' wisdom, right? There's a lot of free game that you guys pass out. So I'm just hoping that, I'm happy to have the opportunity to amplify that and, get the wisdom that we see on a daily basis out to the rest of the world.
Dude, I would love to just take my brain and like put it into other people's, like the amount of housing knowledge I have. Like if you could just take the knowledge that I have in this little brain of mine and just plug it into yours and then use that to scale your land business, it's like crazy because there's so much stuff like you pick up over the years and it's so hard to like pour that into somebody. So it's awesome that like you're just beginning and you're already getting into like the rooms with like people that are really experienced. So you're going to really do extremely well. Like I just started this business 6 months ago and we're seeing some good success. Like you're going to be really, really successful in this, which is awesome. It's going to be awesome, man. I love it. So a couple people had some questions while we're on. Mena had a quick question. So do we always comp the whole county or small areas at a time? So for me, what I do, I'm like a carpet bomber, right? I'm the kind of plane that's just like dropping a whole shit ton of bombs all over a county. And I'm just going to pick up like the scraps that are done. Okay. Now there's different approaches. Sumner talks about this too. Inside Leah, we talk about there's the sniper approach where you're just going to go really tight, pick out like certain small subdivisions and then hammer in those subdivisions and pick out like whatever, get hyper targeted. Your KPIs are going to go way up. Like you're going to have a really good response rate. You're going to have really good KPIs because you're highly targeted. But the problem is it's not scalable on like a larger thing. Like he's talking about going into let's say like a subdivision with like 100 units, right? And maybe like 20 lots sold in the past year, whatever it is, and trying to target those other 80 owners and trying to buy them and sell them, right? I can't send 18,000 pieces of mail, 20,000 pieces of mail by doing that. I would literally spend all day long trying to price markets. So I need to get out big chunks, like 3,000, 5,000, 1,800, big chunks. I need to get them out. So I look for homogenous markets. And this is also something that Sumner teaches inside Leah is homogenous markets and all this stuff. And looking for markets that we could just basically scoop up the whole thing, price it out as one county, and then just boom, send the mail out. Not going to be perfect everywhere. We're not going to get all the numbers right, but we're going to get enough of a swath that we'll get some deals coming in, right? All you need is one deal. Our goal is one deal per market. If we get one deal per market, at the end of the day, I mean, that one deal could be like 30 grand, right? And you're good. That's like on 3,000 pieces of mail. If you get one deal, you're talking about like a 20x ROAS if you make 30 grand on it. Like, what business can you do that in? Like, not many. So yeah. What about you, Justin? Are you doing sniper or carpet bombing?
Yeah, I'm sniper right now. I think eventually I'd like to get to that level
Mhm.
to be at just a little bit more limited capital overall.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and my theory is if I can get, I would say probably 150 to 200 pieces to 500 in a county, but it's in a pocket of this county, could be a subdivision, could just be a general region in this county that has just relatively homogenous pricing. So as acreage increases, price increases overall. Um, I'm pretty confident in that. And sniping, right? It's just kind of trying to be a little bit grittier in terms of what each piece of mail you're getting out does, and it takes more time for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one thing that I have more of in terms of resources is time that I can kind of allocate to that. Right. Eventually, I won't be able to hit the numbers that I need to hit, but for now, I'm going to do probably 5K a month and then get up to 10K a month in quarter two in terms of mail. So slowly but surely, it'll mature into that a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
broader approach in terms of blind offers. And then eventually just hopefully getting up to as many a month as possible, having the right infrastructure in place. But yeah, that's kind of my mindset on it. And just see if I can find like a little circle in Redfin where it's like I've got 7 to 30 sold properties and only like a couple listings, like I'm all over that. That's gold for us. So and just making sure it lines up with like what's under contract in the county. That's a big thing I've been preaching, as well as seeing what's actually sold and selling, and then just kind of just marketing to those people who own those properties.
Yep.
So that's what I've been focusing on, and using more of a sniper approach.
Yeah. Yeah. So Elliot just asked what's sniping. So sniping is basically like, instead of just taking a whole county, seeing if it's homogenous, that's pretty much what I do. You're gonna focus in on just really tight little areas, subdivisions, stuff like that, of high turnover basically, and then try to like price that area specifically, and then mail directly to that area. So if you find a subdivision that there's like 50 lots and 10 sold in the last year, you're like, okay, the pricing is all like between 30 and 50,000 a lot. Okay, it's pretty easy to figure out the pricing then, right? Whereas the more broadband approach, where it's just like carp bomb, machine gun, whatever you want to call it, that's where you're just going, okay, what's this whole county look like? Is it relatively homogenous? Cool, price the whole thing, send it out. So that's kind of the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Have you dealt with timber leases? Nick, I've never dealt with timber leases. Pretty curious though. Got a motivated seller, 340 acres, 40 sub 6-year-old timber lease that expires in 27. Is he selling it with like the timber lease? I mean, anything can be transferred, right? Because if you could get the timber lease with it, that's awesome. Or you could maybe subdivide out that 40 acres, keep that for yourself, sell the rest. I haven't done with that. You probably haven't done with that, right? No.
I have not.
Other than overpaying, what are some examples of bad land deals? What are a few of your non-starters? No access. It's a number one no starter, and we get some deals like that come on. This is another thing, like with my carpet bombing approach, I don't scrub out no access. I don't scrub all that stuff on the front end, right? So all I pull is non-owner occupied above 5 acres. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
In the county, and that's pretty much what I'm looking for. Vacant land, non-owner occupied, above 5 acres. Some people will sit there, scrub out access. They'll scrub out all kinds of stuff. I don't bother with that because I've been getting like the deal that I just got. I could show it to you. I'll bring it up actually, and I'll show you guys. This is a deal that nobody else would have gotten, and we're gonna make 200 grand on it. So it's like, why would I scrub out properties that have no access or look like it has no access? Because it could have an easement, we just don't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll show you just a quick picture of it.
Yeah, I feel like that's a That's a really good approach, honestly, because I feel like a lot of money's made in this business, just from what I've seen. I haven't had any experience with this yet. A lot of money is made just willing to do more work than other people, just doing a little
Yeah.
bit more due diligence and calling the right people, and yeah, not being afraid to get your hands dirty. So I think that aligns with not scrubbing your list from properties that don't have access, at least direct access.
Yeah, well, it doesn't show it. That's the whole thing. Like if you look at this, you wouldn't know if it had access or not, right? So that's why I don't bother scrubbing like that kind of stuff because I feel like it's so important. You don't I bought a couple deals already like that when you look at them, you're like, okay, this is going to be a no access deal, whatever the case may be. Like, but then you talk to the seller, they're like, oh no, I got a 50-foot deeded easement, I'm good to go. Oh, cool, there we go, and it's a deal now. So once I started to not scrub those out, I kind of realized I'm like, this is like a niche and a niche. Like people don't, almost everybody in the land business scrubs everything. I don't.
Yeah.
So just my little word of advice. So I'll show you this real quick. And then we'll keep going. So this deal right here, this is the 70 acres, right? Now, just looking at this, here's the roadways. So I'll put on base map. Let's go street view. So if you look at this, here's the road right here, right here. This looks like it's a landlocked piece of property, right? Would you just throw this away? Probably, most likely. Most VAs, they would scrub this out. Okay.
Yes.
Well, here's the thing. We found out from the county and everything like that right here, there's this extra parcel right here. When they broke up this whole thing, it is actually, we get our easement from right here. So we come right down this road and we get access to right here.
Nice.
So we come right on the property and we have 70 acres all back here. So what we're going to look into doing is subdividing this up, possibly doing 10 acres. So for the exemptions, or we know in this area, we could sell like a 3-acre property for like 60K super quick.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about we could get, it's 17 3-acre properties. So 17 times 60,000. That would be 1,1,020,000. So we could do that if we wanted to do the subdivision. So it's pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so to go back to the question, what are some other examples of bad land deals? What are your non-starters? So non-starters are obviously if it doesn't have access. If they came to me and said, "Oh no, I have this property, it's 70 acres, but I have no access," I'm gonna say, "Yeah, it's not gonna work unless I could get a deeded easement from somebody." I won't do anything with it. That's definitely a non-starter. Other non-starters are like total flood zones. If it's not like the area, like if the area is not like that, like Florida has a lot of flood zones, but some people buy them, they don't care, right? They're used to it. What are the non-starters? Let's think that multiple errors, dude. Multiple errors. You're gonna deal with this a lot. Multiple like where somebody's like, "Hey, I want to sell the land." Cool. How'd you come across it? Well, my great great grandpappy gave it to me. Okay. Did he sell it to you? No. Well, I inherited it from his granddaddy got it, and then great granddaddy got it, and then whatever. Like came down like succession of like 10 granddads. Well, each one of them had kids. So then what happens is like let's say great grandpa owned it and he had 6 kids. He dies. That land now gets split up, and now each one of those kids is a 1/6 undivided interest, and then it goes down into the next tier. They all have kids. They all die. Well, now all those kids get undivided interest. So like you could get to a point where you have like 40 sellers technically, and each one of them has to get paid off or sign off. So that is usually like something that's like a non-starter, right? I'm not going to deal with that. What else you got? What other non-starters can you think of, Justin?
I think you got most of them. Honestly, I feel like those are good ones to just have in terms of like a principle. But everything else, like if you think about it, should be, you know, able to be worked, I guess. Uh, just from what I've seen, I think you hit the major ones.
Yeah. Yeah, I think those are the 3 biggers. Or like anything that's like if you look at it and it's like next to some like bad stuff like cemetery. I mean, even cemeteries. Hey, yeah, any like if your neighbors are bad, basically. So
Oh, I had one where it's like, and I don't know, maybe I just read this wrong, but it was like two telephone poles were on the, or like, yeah, two telephone wires were on the property, and it was like as narrow as could be. Like, it has to be realistic for you to like build something on it.
yeah, exactly. Oh, that's another thing is like power line easements, any major easements. Usually, yeah, neighbors of landfill. Yeah, exactly. Any power line easements are like a non-starter unless it's like a 400-acre property and 10 acres is whatever. But if
Yeah.
it's like a 30-acre property and 15 of the acres has a power line easement right down through the center and it's main transmission lines, that to me is like no value. Um, Excessive slope, I would say it's not just as excessive slope. So it's not like a non-starter for excessive slope. It just, let's say you're working in an area that's completely flat, and then you have one property that's like 9,000 feet tall. Like, yeah, obviously that's not going to work, right? Um, so I would say it's just area dependent. Um, yeah. Let's see. Mina. So another thing with the carpet bombing strategy. So what we do is like, let's say we find a county that 90% of it is trading all the same, but then you go like inner city is trading completely different. We'll just exclude that area from our sold data and from our other data when we pull it, exclude that area, and then price that as a separate data set, and then stack the list together and mail it out. So yeah, we don't fully exclude it. Like we just did a county where one part of the corner, like the northern end of the county, is priced way higher because it's closer to inner city. So we did that county as one way, and then over there we did everything else regular. Um, so yeah, what's up, Mike? How we doing? Cool. So Justin, what do you got? What kind of leads you got going on? Anything good?
Yeah, so I have it's not closed yet. One deal I wanted to kind of show, it's a topic I'm still learning quite a bit about, note wrapping and everything
Mhm.
like that. And I'm not saying I will
Nice.
even try this. I'm just kind of like interested in it. It fascinates me. Um, and because I don't have it under contract yet, I just did kind of like a forecast of like the properties they own, the states that they're in, what the market estimation is for all of them, and what I'm hoping to buy them for, and just kind of how that process would work. I can show you that spreadsheet if you want.
Yeah, take a look at it.
All right, cool. Let's
Should be able
see.
to present.
Here we go. Share screen. Share screen. Okay. Here we go. All right. Let me know when you guys can see this.
Just add the stage.
Hmm?
There you go.
Can you guys see this?
Yep, you're good to
And
go.
so I'm still trying to figure out like the sell side. I don't know if you have any insight into that, but I'll just walk through it real quick. So he owns 8 properties in Missouri, all in a pretty popular county. 1 property in California, 1 property in Nevada, 2 in Oklahoma, 2 in Colorado, 1 in Maine, actually, that's a new one, and then 1 in Georgia. And so they're all have their little nuances and everything like that. But everything seems pretty straightforward in regards to the market, which is nice. Some are slower than others. So I think
Sure.
for this deal, what I'm thinking is buying on terms. And so as you can see here, I have what I've estimated to be market value, all discounted off of like the sales, so a little bit below what I'm seeing in terms of sales. And then the total is over here. So like, for example, he owns 4.1 acre lots. This is the price for one. 4 times 15K is 60K, right? So
Right.
what I've come to is it's worth about $480,500. My target buy is going to be somewhere in this range of 336,350, right? Because I'm giving this to him up front. My pitch, big shout out to Jay for teaching me this on Twitter on how to breach this topic with this man, is going to be, hey, I can give you this price, what you're thinking. This is what I'm going to pitch it as, is that he wants to sell it all in bulk.
Sure.
So how would you like to get this price? We'll say 340. but it's going to be lighter on your tax bill. So that's
Yeah.
how I'm going to reach the topic. And the guy's been really gracious working with me and getting me all the details for every single property. So he's pretty engaged, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm seeing right now, or what I'm hoping to execute on, is 20% down, so about 67K. And then the finance sum is going to be about $269,000 on a 20-year term, 0% interest, of course. So it's going to come out to be about $1,121.
Mm-hmm.
So my ideal sale is going to be about 30% just straight flip. Some of these properties are going to move a lot faster than others.
Sure.
Would come at about 144,000 in terms of what it's actually worth on market. And this would be, I haven't taken out any costs of like closing costs, so nothing with realtors. I'd work with realtors in all those areas that are moving faster. And then hopefully the rest on terms. Now we'll see how that all works, but the fact that I'd get more than double of what I put down is pretty solid overall.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm still kind of learning, like on the sell side. I don't really know how to calculate exactly what the monthly payments would be.
Sure.
But this is kind of what I'm thinking for an exit on this particular one. And I probably have to partner with someone on it.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how it goes. But this is kind of what I'm thinking of right now for this particular deal. I don't know if you have any insight in on it.
Yeah, so I do a lot of like creative finance and seller finance. That's like mainly what I do.
Okay.
Not in my land business, in my other business.
Okay.
So what I would pitch on this, right? So if you're saying market price is about 480 and you
Mhm.
want to get it for 336, what is that, like 70% of market?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're 70% of market right there, which is leaving you 30% spread. And you've already probably discounted on the front end, right? What your
Mhm.
market value is a little bit. It's like
Yep.
the lower ends. Okay, that's good. So you're probably realistically, you probably have like 40 or 50% of equity, more than
Yeah.
likely, right? Okay.
Mhm.
Now, what I would do is say, hey, look, instead of we do this a couple different ways. I give you cash, right? Cash is going to be your lowest offer. It's also going to be the most taxed, right? So I give you a cash deal. Totally up to you, but it's going to be the lowest discounted. I mean, it's going to be the highest discounted. You're going to get taxed the highest on that. So instead, I'd rather do something like this. We can partner up on the property. Basically, you become the bank, and basically, I become the you're the lender, I'm the lendee, right? You're going to lend on me. You're going to be, we'll do some seller financing, however you want to pitch it. Some people like that. Some people say like instead, hey, look, why don't you become the let's say you could say, I'm trying to think of the best way to say this. So usually I'll say something along the lines of like, hey, look, man, I want you to become my bank. All right. I want to save you money on taxes because now instead of selling the whole thing, you're gonna have to pay tax on the whole thing.
Mhm.
We set it up with the seller finance. What's gonna happen is basically instead of every, this year you get up a huge lump sum that you gotta pay tax on. Every year you record a little bit, and most of the times you can write that off, right?
Mhm.
So here's what I want to do. We'll set up a note, do everything, and I'll pay you. I would go less than the down payment on the front end. I wouldn't pitch 20% because he's going to want to concede and go to 30. So I would say I actually don't even say anything about a down payment. So usually what I'll pitch is say, why don't we just work out a structure that is a win-win for both of us, right? So
Mhm.
basically we come up with a number that makes sense. Right now I'm at about, I would start a little lower. I'd say right now I'm about, 315 for the total package. And then I'll pay that in monthly installments. And then just see what he says. And if
Mhm.
he's like, all right, I could do that. Okay, cool. Great. 315 monthly installments. So let's do 20-year term and make the payment out to be like I would first pitch it as like no down payment, see what he says.
Yeah.
And make the payment like, 1400 a month. How's that sound to you? And he might be like, yeah, it's too low, or it might be too high. Say, okay, well, what if we did this? What if I gave you 5% of that 315 right now as a down payment? And then I'll give you, 1300 over 20 years and see what he says. And if he's like, that's too low. Next thing you could do is pitch amortization 20 years, but balloon out in 10. Okay. So basically, in 10 years, I'll pay you the full amount. More
Mhm.
than likely, you'll have already sold all this land, right? So ballooning out is actually really easy. You wouldn't have to worry about that, especially if you do 10 years. You could say, hey, instead of doing, we'll still do 20-year AM, but here, I'll get your money a little bit faster. The only downside is with the balloon, whatever principal's left over, that's the money you're going to get taxed on, right? So the longer we draw this out, the better for you it is actually to win. You win more if we draw this out longer, right? So that's that. Now, another question that's going to come up, he's going to ask about interest. Well, what's my interest rate on this? So I usually say, well, we typically only do principal only. And the reason why we do principal only is I build the interest in on the purchase price. Because sometimes what I like to do is I like to pay my lenders off early. So let's say we're going through this property and I decide, like, hey, look, we're going to sell these off to different people, whatever the case may be. I might want to pay you off early. So what I do instead of paying you off early and amortizing it and have to worry about like how much I paid you and make sure you made enough, whatever, I like to build in a little bit I build the interest in on the front end. So I'll pay you a little bit more than we would cash. So we lock that interest in no matter what. So no matter what I got to do, I got to pay you that amount of interest. So it's actually a win-win for you. You're getting more money because I'm locking that interest in for you. Sellers like to hear that because they always want to know how much interest am I getting? Am I getting 5%? Am I getting 10%? Well, you could just say, well, I'm giving you over my cash price. I'm giving you, instead of like $250 for cash, I'm giving you almost $100,000 more. Giving you $75K more by you becoming the bank. Does that sound agreeable? Stuff like that. So I pitch it like that. It should work pretty good. This looks pretty good. I mean, if you get all these lots and then sell them off on seller finance and all that stuff, you should do really good. It's a big portfolio for you to just jump into. How'd you come across the lead?
Yeah, it was actually one of my last mailers I sent. It was in holiday season. Actually, I sent it out later than I wanted to when I was initially planning for Q4. But it was one of those sniper ones, and I think I came across the properties. I mailed the ones in Colorado, and he was just like, hey, I've got all this land. Are you interested in it, basically? And he sent it all over to me. It's all kind of, I don't know how he came upon it. We've actually only been chatting over email, and I've kind of been slowly working it because I had another large portfolio like this come across my table that ended up not working out. But
yeah,
just kind of, it's definitely a large deal, especially as one of my first deals. But it's really interesting overall, right? And I think that this strategy is just extremely fascinating overall because you get a large return on the sale, right? Like a doubling what it might be, right? So, or at least the initial down payment, and then just collecting whatever the terms would be, the difference in between the two, and still have to figure all that out, but. Appreciate the help there. One thing I wanted to note on this property as well. So this property right here, I'm not gonna, again, I haven't closed it yet, so still trying to keep it a little bit under wraps.
Yeah.
It's in like a crazy desirable area in Georgia for a few reasons. And if I can figure out if it's buildable, it's entirely, this 9 acres is entirely surrounded by less than 1 acre infill lots, right? And so if I can figure out if it's buildable, right now there's a few comps like just in this acreage range that are roughly 70 to 55,000 give or take in terms of what I evaluated it as and what it actually sold for. But if you can like chop it up, it could be a lot larger. It just kind of depends overall on obviously the county stuff, but even if it's just buildable, it still increases the value by quite a bit. I think the biggest thing is no one's just done the due diligence. Like, I don't think there's like people haven't tried, you know what I mean? This guy's owned this property for a very long time. So there could be a lot more meat on the bone with this one. Particularly. So anywho, that's awesome. This. And then I have another property I can show here in a second that I have under contract.
Let me show you this real quick too. And I just sent it to you too in private chat. So this is what I do a lot of times too. And this is something you could totally edit too. This is what I use for anytime I'm sending like any type of like seller finance, anything like that. I send something called an LOI, a letter of intent to purchase. And I type it up nicely. I put everything in here, right? And what I'll do is I'll say, make it clearly understood the purchaser you intends to purchase whatever you want to do. And you can write his name, portfolio, whatever. portfolio of, and then right here, his name.
Mhm.
So then you would put offer one, you would put the purchase price, the down payment, interest rate, the monthly payments, the term, amortization, how many years, approximate amount due at balloon, seller net gross, whatever. So this way they could see like how much they'll actually net over time.
Yeah.
And when they look at this and you show them, even if you add in like lines for capital gains and all that stuff, say like estimated capital gains, 20%, whatever the case may be, put that in there. And then they start seeing like, okay, well, I might at 250K, I might only actually net like 175K, right?
Mhm.
Well, that kind of sucks. But then you scroll down, offer two is like, all right, this one's getting better. I could net on this one like 315,000. Well, this one makes way more sense to do this because now
Mhm.
you're not paying capital gains and all that stuff. And then offer three could be like something different, like a different down payment, whatever the case may be. And that's another thing too, man. What you should consider is do principal only
Mhm.
for one offer, right? And then if he wants a down payment or something like that, then do that as a different offer, right? So
Yeah.
one offer could be like principal only with a down payment, like 10% down payment. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
if he wants money now, you're going to do principal only. But if he'll do no down payment, say, what if you did no down payment, 5% interest, and then show how that'll all work out? Now he'll see that number goes from 315 to like 500K, and he'll be like, oh, this is juicy now. Okay.
Mhm.
So I just sent it to you in the private chat.
Yeah.
Edit this however you want, whatever you want to do with it. But this is how I would present this to them. Put in
Mhm.
your like letterhead, your picture, whatever. This is just a rough outline I use. But yeah, send this over, and this makes you look more professional too. This is
Yeah.
not a contract. This is just a letter of intent showing, hey, I intend to purchase this, whatever.
Mhm.
If you do end up doing something with a down payment, sending over like a proof of funds is also really powerful too because it shows you mean business, right? You
Yeah.
have 100K proof of funds saying like I can pay for this, you'll be pretty good.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So yeah, I can focus on land having them run CMAs if they're really good. Listen, so cool. Awesome. Yeah. What's your other deal?
Yeah. So this one is it's an interesting. It's pretty plain Jane, nothing too crazy. Let me share this tab. Let me know if you can see it. I should be
Yeah, you're good.
shifting. Here we go. Cool. Okay. So macro level, Granger County, Tennessee. Fun little county over there. Little
Is this
tough
right by
sometimes.
Green?
What's up?
Is this right by Greene County?
I think so. Yeah.
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 I know that mountain range. That's why I was like, I'm like, I know that mountain range.
The smoke, isn't it the Smokies or something like that?
I don't know if it's that part of the Smokies. I just know that strip of mountain runs through Greene County too. And we've gotten like we mailed Greene County, I think it was, and almost all the deals we got were all on that mountain strip, and they were all super like this. Slow.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. This one's an interesting one. It's not. There's flat parts on it, and
Nice.
there's been a lot of people. I think one person lived there on a mobile home, so it has a right of way. So it does. You do have access. Oops. Oh, I just got kicked out of data tree. Hate to see it.
Yeah, here. Oh.
That's really weird. I didn't even ask for my password. That's fun. All right, let's see if this will load up. I do have a lot of tabs open, and it tends to get a little bit slower. Oh, here we go. Right back where we started. All right. So, yeah, this property right here, it's, I believe it's about 18 acres, give or take.
Nice.
Comps are pretty strong. So I have it under contract right now for like, I think like 33.5, planning to double close it. And working with an established realtor in the area. He says CMA is about 55.
Nice.
But he says it might need to get surveyed. So you might have some insight into this and how much that'll cost. But I'm just planning on using that as negotiation with the seller again, and just say, hey, look, it's going to cost this much. I need this much off of what we've agreed to. Because this person it's a good tale of following up with people. This is
Mhm.
probably one of the only leads I've been kind of knocking myself for not following up with leads and stuff like that. But I did follow up with this person quite a bit because I knew this county decently well. And anyways, they wanted like 50K a long time ago. They said they got this quote from a realtor, yada yada yada. So I was like, yeah, kick rocks, have fun. And
Mhm.
he came back and wanted to renegotiate and stuff like that. So um, I think if I were to guess, I think the person who owns it is quite old, and the person representing them just doesn't want to go through the headache of working with a realtor.
Right.
They do projects and stuff like that, from what he was telling me. So yeah, I'm just going to kind of fill in the gap for them. And the realtor in the area wants to put it on auction because he says that's how he gets the most out of it. Um, which I
Never
think
done
will
that. That's pretty
be interesting.
interesting.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting experience,
Yeah.
But I think one of the properties, I think it might have been this one, which I don't even think has direct road access like ours, was just sold on auction for like 55K, I think. Pretty similar. Not this one, maybe a different one.
Yeah.
This one's a little bit bigger, but one that's like pretty comparable. Maybe it's not on Data Tree, but very close comp. I want to say it's somewhere in this area.
Uh,
Um, that was sold on auction for 55K. Very similar
Sweet.
property overall. So I feel good about that. And that's the only one that I have a couple others that I'm negotiating as well right now. I have one that we have like an agreed upon price and terms and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Um, in Colorado, I've actually put it in the Discord recently for anyone that's in the private channels. If they want to go look at it, that's the one I'm should close today or tomorrow.
Sweet.
I've been talking to the seller quite a bit, but that one will be interesting because I'm going to send it off to title, and we're going to figure out, what we need to do to make it sure that this person can sell it to me because he's the heir and the trust, but it's just not in his name yet. So
Okay.
that's what I've got cooking right now, and I've got a whole bank of leads that we're going to be working on. I'm going to when this consultation firm comes in and kind of
Mhm.
takes over my CRM, we'll all be working on it together. So
That's awesome.
hopefully you'll see a lot more wins coming from our biz. So I'm stoked about it, man. How about you? What do you got cooking up?
Um, yeah, so we got a bunch of leads coming up right now. We just got, I think this month we're at 4 contracts so far. We just got a big price reduction on one deal. We looked at it. It was originally, I can't share it right now because we're waiting for the seller to execute his side.
Yeah.
Um, Big price reduction. It was in North Carolina. We had a lead that came in, looked at it. When I first looked at it, I'm like, this is awesome. This is probably like a buy for, I think we mailed it at 56 and we could sell it for like 110. Great deal. I'm like, sweet, all day, great profit, whatever. Looked
Yeah.
at it. Our realtor looked at it. Well, it comes out there's actually an easement. So the property has like a 25-foot road frontage, but then it goes back. It's like a big belly and it kind of kicks
Hmm.
out, right? So it's a little awkward of a property, but it's a good size. It's like 10 acres. But it's got road frontage, so I'm not worried about all that. And yeah, so we just sent it to the agent. Agent looked at it. He goes, problem is you have this easement that runs through. It's like a 50-foot wide easement that cuts through kind of like one side of the property. And he's like, because of that easement, we're probably going to only be able to sell it for like 80K, 75K. I'm like, damn. So talked to Bob. Bob actually went back and he was working them, and he was able to renegotiate. He got them down to $38,080. Why $80? I don't know, but I love it. um, so I just thought that was hilarious. So yeah, he got it down to $38,080. He got a $20,000 price reduction, which now makes it a deal. Now we could actually buy it for 38. Probably be all in for like 42, and then sell that baby for 75, 80K for a quick almost 30K profit. Um, it's really solid. So that we got that one, and then we just got another one. I'm looking at it. We got 2. We got another one. I'll tell you, man, Volusia County is the one we mailed that we totally botched. Every time I get a lead from there, I'm like, please just stop calling me. Like, I just want to turn Pat Live off and just like, if anybody calls from Volusia, just hang up and just tell them don't call back. Do the opposite
Yeah.
of what they would do, right? It's killing
Yeah.
me. Oh God, it's so frustrating. I
Yeah.
feel terrible because and I told my acquisitions guys, I'm like, just offer like the lowest prices you absolutely can. Just like 500 an acre. Just tell them to like screw off. Tell them whatever. We might pull one deal out of it. I think there's like one deal that we're looking at. It's got like double-sided road frontage, and it's in like a kind of like a good residential area. So we might pull that one off.
Mhm.
But I mean, the board's full, man. We got so many deals going. Our
Nice.
Bob and Cassandra are crushing it in acquisitions. We just had a meeting last night, went through all of our leads and everything like that, and we got a lot. We got a lot of stuff cooking, a lot of stuff that we're hoping hands out. We just got
Mhm.
2 more pretty good leads, I think. I like them a lot. Let me just check it.
Nice.
This one, yeah, one just came in right now. Solid 14 acres in a county that's like the days to pending is like 7 days. It's insane. Um, yeah. So I'm
Nice.
pretty stoked. I'd love to share them, but I
Yeah, I
can't right
know.
now. It's not. It's
Yeah.
so hard. Like we're not under contract. Like this is the
Yeah.
nice thing about inside Leah. We could share this stuff without worry. But I've had properties like get stolen from me if I shared them on YouTube. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
inside Leah, we never worry about that. Like everybody's like all about it. They'll help each other and all that stuff. That's why I love it. Being in a community like that is the best thing you could do.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
she
That's a good.
so she any tips for getting price reduced on a property that um on a property that you already agreed on a price. So you have to have some natural defects, right? So if I'm looking at a property, obviously I mailed this thing, and when I mailed it, I'm mailing it as if it had road frontage, good piece of property. Now when I get the lead back in, I look at it. It's got an easement, poor road frontage, maybe some slope, maybe some wetlands, maybe whatever the case may be, all that stuff. Um, so what happens is then I'm going to talk to the seller and say, hey, look, just wanted to know, do you have an easement? Do you have this, that, and whatever? They say, yeah, I have an easement. Okay. Well, here's some of the natural defects in the property. And then I go through it with them, kind of talk about those things, the negative sides. And then I say, look, at the end of the day, like typically a property like this we'll be buying for like 50K. You know, I know we originally sent you an offer for 75, but I still want to work with you. So where does it make sense for us to meet in the middle and kind of just go back and forth with them? Um, I'll know like in my head, like my MAO might be like, I think I told Bob the other day, I said MAO on this property is like 45K, and he got a reduction below that. So because he's good. um, But yeah, MAO, my max allowable offer is kind of going to tell me like where I want to go, and then I'm going to low anchor below that. So like if my MAO max allowable offer on a property is like 60K, I'll probably set a low anchor of like 50K, and then come up to concede so the seller wins. Right? It's kind of the goal.
Mhm.
Kind of go back and forth, and then let them win, then you'll win. But I always use negatives. Poor road frontage, bad easement, clearing the easement. If a property was recently cut through, that was another one with that 9 acre. It was recently cut through, which
Mm.
that's the lowest value land. Anything that's clear cut. Yeah, that's pretty much any negative side effects of the property. If you can see anything, bring them up in a call and tell them that this is the reason why we got to do this. All
Mhm.
that stuff.
Mhm. Yep, that's a
So
great point. Same thing with mine. Just that to reiterate, that property I have, it needs to get surveyed. So whatever that cost is, I'm going to take it right back to the seller. Especially because it's a double close, so I'm not putting any money into it besides what I'll pay in title. Um, it's all going to be back to them, right? So
yep.
maybe if they're really adamant about it, maybe I'll take like 25% off of it, right? Again, making them feel like they win is crucial there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dennis, you had a good point, man. I think with the sharing of leads and stuff like that, I've been hearing from a lot of people come into the initial calls, vetting Leah and us vetting them out is people are looking for a good community just to be a part of, right? And I think that there's a sense of accountability that comes with it. Seeing people succeed and stay true to their goals, stay disciplined. That's what we want to try and offer. If anyone wants any help or additional accountability, feel free to message me or email me. I'm happy to hop on a quick call and just kind of see what's going on in your business, your life, everything like that. Happy to help however I can.
Love it, man. Dude, I love it. I love Leah. Like, it's so good. People inside there are just so willing to help and just out there. It's crazy. It's just a different community. That's what I love about it.
Mhm.
How about Aaron, man? So Aaron was on here 2 weeks ago. Look at this. Dennis got a CMA back for another lead. Agent feels comfortable selling between 200K and 250K. Seller was 90K. Boom. We have great rapport. Fingers crossed on this one. Aaron, let's talk about this lead, man. I'll work on that one too together with you.
Nice.
So that's his third lead. We picked these freaking counties from Land Insights 2 weeks ago, and here we are right now. Like, it's crazy. In 2 weeks, this guy has a pipeline profit of like 200 grand sitting right there from leads he picked from Land Insights 2 weeks ago. Come on. Couldn't be better. Couldn't be better.
Nice work, Aaron. I remember talking to Aaron. I could tell right away he's gonna kill it.
Yeah, he's crushing it, man. He's young, he's hungry. He texts me all the time. He's good. So I'm stoked for him. His goal is to get his first deal and then join Leah. That's like pretty much his goal. So he'll it looks like he'll be joining pretty soon, Justin. You'll be hearing from him soon.
Love it, Aaron. I love it. Let's do it. I remember I was like, holy crap, this guy already knows a lot of stuff about land.
Yeah. Yeah, it's surprising. Like, he learns so freaking fast, and he's learning more and more every day. It's crazy. He's going to be a force to reckon with. I'll tell you that much. And the amount, like, his notes and stuff like that are insane.
Yeah.
So, guy's a killer.
Cool.
Awesome. Justin, dude, this is awesome. I want to have you on here more. Should definitely make it like a monthly staple.
Yeah.
So just ribbing back and forth with you, talking our businesses and seeing what we got going on. I wish you could show more, but it's so hard.
I know.
And Leah, balance.
We will, Leah. But yeah, absolutely. Same here, Dennis. This is great accountability, and I'm hoping I can show everyone, you can do this, right? This business is possible. This is basically mine starting from scratch. Took a hiatus because of the high demand with Leah and everything like that. But you guys are all getting a live look into how I'm building this stuff. Obviously, Dennis, you're building yours as well at a higher level. But I hope that I can offer some inspiration or help however I can, guys. Let me know. You can follow my journey here. I'll hop on once a month. Happy to do that in Leah, and of course on Twitter at Cypher or CC Land Group. And of course, guys, when it comes out, we've got some bangers coming out on the Raw Land podcast. The first giveaway is going to blow your guys' minds. I can't believe it. It's absolutely crazy. I'll let Sumner do the honors there, but it's going to be pretty exciting. It's going to be pretty exciting. Awesome. Great riffing with you guys, Dennis. As always, great to see you, man. And
I love it, man. Yeah, it's awesome, man. I'm stoked for that podcast. I was talking to Sumner the other day. I got something brewing too.
Nice.
It's gonna be friggin' sick. Same thing. Like, the giveaways are insane.
Yeah.
You'll see. I don't think he told you. I told him to keep it quiet for now, but we're gonna be doing something pretty fun coming in March. It'll be good for everyone to see. And I'll have everybody tag along with me. We'll bring probably 10 special insiders to come in the back end with me and hang out, and we'll go through everything, but it'll be a really, really fun one. I'm stoked about it. So we'll come up with that stuff. Cool. But cool, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We'll see you next week. Later.